Good Erev Shabbos. This week we read from Parshas Chukas. Chukas talks about, among other things, the parsha where Moshe Rabbeinu hits the rock, and subsequently water comes from the rock, and subsequently after that he's told by Hashem that he's not going to be able to enter the land of Israel. And many of the commentaries have asked over time, what specifically was the sin? The sin, one looks carefully in the text, does not say that the sin was because that he hit the rock, although that's what Rashi says. It says that he did not make a Kiddush Hashem, a sanctification of God's name. So what exactly was the sin? There's a wide variety of perspective among the commentaries. I just want to share with you one of the perspectives, and that is the view of the Rambam, the Maimonides. The Maimonides says that the sin of Moshe was the way how he spoke to the Jewish people. He spoke to the Jewish people in a disrespectful way. What he said was, Shimuna Hamorim, listen here, O rebels. And then he followed up by saying, Hamin Hasela Hazanotzi Lachamoyim. Is there going to be water coming out of this rock? Meaning they were saying, where's our water? Where's our water? And he says, oh, listen here, rebels. Do you think there can be no water from this rock? And it was disrespectful the way how he referred to the people as rebels. And many have asked, and that is that we find in other places he referred to them as rebellious. He says, Mamar Hayisim and Hashem, you were rebellious with Hashem. So why is it that that he was called out for calling them rebels when in fact they were rebellious? So one of the ideas over here is, and this teaches us a lesson in general of how to deliver constructive criticism, and that is that it's never appropriate to label a person in a certain way. It's always appropriate, or sometimes appropriate, to label the conduct or the behavior a certain way, but not appropriate to label the person a certain way. So for example, it's appropriate to say their conduct is rebellious, but not to call the person a rebel. It's appropriate to say that the behavior of a child is poor, but not to call the child a bad child. That is not appropriate. And that's what happened with Moshe. It was okay for him to say over the years, yeah, your conduct was rebellious. That's okay. But when he said you are considered morim, you are considered rebels, now that was crossing a red line. In fact, the Rambam, the Ramani, says because he crossed that red line, he was not able to enter the land of Israel. The larger point for us all is that we always have, not always, but many times have situations where we have to, as parents, teachers, educators, even just interacting with other people, feel a need to address poor behavior. It's not appropriate to call out the person. You're a bad person. You're a bad student. You're a bad child. That's not appropriate. What is more appropriate is to address the behavior as such. Wishing you all a good Erev Shabbos.